Margaret's heart raced as the flight attendant's voice crackled over the intercom, announcing severe turbulence ahead. But that wasn't what made her stomach drop. Seated in the plush comfort of first class, she locked eyes with the pregnant woman in economy, Emery, who was clutching her swollen belly, her face pale with fear and exhaustion, begging silently for relief. In a split-second decision that would unravel her meticulously guarded life, Margaret stood up, waved over the attendant and offered her seat, whispering to herself, "What harm could a simple act of kindness do?" As Emery settled into the seat with a grateful sigh, Margaret squeezed into the cramped economy row, her mind already swirling with doubts. She had built her world on careful secrets. A high-powered lawyer in New York, engaged to a man her conservative family adored, all while burying her true desires deep inside. Why did she do that? She wondered, staring at the back of Emery's head. Was it pity or something more, a pull she couldn't name? The plane jolted and Margaret gripped the armrest, her thoughts racing back to her childhood in a small Texas town where being different meant isolation, where her parents' prayers for her normal future echoed like chains. Emery turned slightly, offering a weak smile through the cabin divide. "Thank you," she mouthed, and Margaret nodded, forcing a polite response. But inside turmoil brewed. Her fiancé, David, was waiting at the gate in Chicago, expecting her to finalize wedding plans with his influential family. How would she explain this detour? The act felt reckless, exposing a vulnerability she had long suppressed. As the flight dragged on, Emery's occasional glances back stirred something in Margaret. Curiosity, perhaps, or recognition of shared pain. Emery looked young, maybe mid-20s, with tired eyes that hinted at stories untold. By the time they landed, the storm had passed, but Margaret's internal one was just beginning. She helped Emery gather her things, their hands brushing accidentally, sending a jolt through Margaret's veins. "I'm Emery," the woman said softly, her voice laced with southern warmth. "From Atlanta, heading to family in the Midwest. This baby's due any day now." Margaret introduced herself, her words clipped, professional. But as they walked toward baggage claim, Emery winced, doubling over. "Oh God, not now," she gasped. Margaret's instincts kicked in. She flagged down airport staff, her lawyer's authority cutting through the chaos. Paramedics arrived, confirming early labor. In the ambulance racing to the hospital, Margaret held Emery's hand, whispering encouragements, her mind screaming, "Why am I here? This isn't my life." At the hospital, doctors rushed Emery into delivery, leaving Margaret in the waiting room pacing. She called David, fabricating a story about a delayed flight and a minor incident. "I'll be home soon," she lied, her voice steady but her heart pounding. Hours ticked by and doubt crept in. What if her family found out? Her parents, devout and unyielding, had already questioned her choices. Why no kids yet? Why the career over marriage sooner? Coming out wasn't an option. It would mean disownment, loss of everything. Yet here she was, invested in a stranger's fate. Finally, a nurse emerged. "It's a girl. Healthy but mom's exhausted. She asked for you." Margaret entered the room, seeing Emery cradling the tiny bundle, tears streaming. "I don't have anyone here," Emery confessed. "My family's complicated. They don't approve of me raising this alone." Margaret sat beside her, the baby's soft cries piercing her defenses. In that moment, holding the infant briefly, something cracked inside her. A longing for authenticity she had denied for years. As days blurred, Margaret extended her stay, helping Emery navigate discharge papers and temporary housing. David grew suspicious over calls, his tone sharpening. "What's really going on, Maggie?" She deflected but guilt gnawed. Emery opened up. Abandoned by the baby's father, shunned by her religious parents for living in sin. Their conversations deepened, revealing shared wounds, societal expectations crushing their spirits. Margaret felt seen for the first resonator's time, her inner voice whispering, "Is this what freedom feels like?" But freedom came with chains. She was betraying David, her family, herself. One night in the motel as the baby slept, Emery reached for Margaret's hand. "Why are you doing this? You don't owe me anything." Margaret hesitated, her mind a battlefield. "Because I see myself in you. Trapped." The admission hung heavy, sparking a connection that terrified her. Back home, her parents called, pressuring about the wedding. David's perfect for you, her mother said. Don't mess this up. Margaret's resolve wavered. Was helping Emery a mistake, a selfish escape? Tensions mounted when Emery's family arrived unannounced, her father booming disapproval. You're not fit to raise that child alone, he thundered. Margaret stepped in, defending her, her lawyer skills shining. But the confrontation exposed her own hypocrisies, advocating for Emery while hiding her truth. As the family left in a huff, Emery hugged her, whispering, "You're my hero." Margaret's heart ached. Heroes don't live lies. The first betrayal came subtly. Margaret canceled a meeting with David, citing work, to stay longer. Inside she questioned every choice. Was this kindness or attraction? The latter scared her most. Admitting it meant upending her world. Society's gaze loomed. A queer woman in a straight facade, now entangled with another outcast. The pressure built, her mind racing with what-ifs. What price would she pay for this? David's texts escalated from concern to accusatory as Margaret lingered in Chicago, her excuses wearing thin. We have the venue to confirm. What's more important than us? He demanded. She stared at the screen in the dim hospital cafeteria. Emery across from her nursing the baby, now named Lily after Emery's grandmother. Margaret's inner turmoil raged. How could she explain that this stranger and her child had awakened a part of her she thought dead? The pull toward Emery was undeniable. A quiet storm of emotions she couldn't label yet. Emery shared more fragments of her life over coffee. Growing up in a strict Georgia household where deviation from the norm meant exile. I got pregnant thinking it would fix things, make me normal, she admitted, eyes downcast. But it just made everything worse. Margaret nodded, her own memories flooding back. Stolen glances at girls in high school, crushed under parental scrutiny. I know that pressure, she murmured. My folks think David's the answer to all my issues. The word hung, unspoken truths lingering. As weeks passed, Margaret extending her business trip. Their bond deepened through small acts. Late-night talks about dreams deferred, shared laughs over Lily's gurgles. But doubt shadowed Margaret. Was she using Emery as a mirror for her unresolved self? The societal weight pressed. In America, where progress clashed with pockets of intolerance, coming out could cost careers, families. Her firm was conservative. Partners whispered about lifestyle choices. Inside, she debated. Stay hidden, safe, or risk it all? The first major conflict erupted when David flew in unexpectedly, confronting her at the motel. Who's this? He snapped, eyeing Emery and the baby. Margaret stammered. A friend in need. But David's jealousy flared. You're throwing away our future for strangers? The argument spilled into the hallway, voices raised. Emery overheard, her face crumpling. Later, alone with Margaret, she asked, Is he right? Am I ruining your life? Margaret's heart twisted. No, but yes, her choices were fracturing everything. Guilt consumed her. She called her parents testing waters. What if I wasn't with David? Her mother's response chilled. Don't be ridiculous. He's your stability. The call ended with warnings of disappointment. Margaret's mind spiraled. Was loving someone like Emery wrong? Or was denying it the true sin? Moral quandaries haunted her. Betraying David meant pain, but staying meant self-betrayal. Emery faced her own demons. Her ex, the baby's father, resurfaced via calls demanding custody. You can't do this alone, he sneered. Margaret helped her lawyer up, but the stress triggered Emery's vulnerabilities. One evening she broke down. I thought I could handle this, but society's judging eyes. They're everywhere. Margaret held her, the embrace lingering longer than friendly, sparking internal panic. What am I doing? This crosses lines. The turning point came during a family mediation for Emery. Her parents arrived, Bibles in hand, condemning her immoral path. Margaret, posing as a friend, defended fiercely. Love isn't sin, she argued, words echoing her own struggle. Emery's father turned on her. Who are you to lecture? The room tensed, accusations flying. In the aftermath, Emery confessed. I feel something for you, Margaret. More than gratitude. The admission hung electric. Margaret's world tilted. Reciprocating meant embracing her identity, facing backlash. But hesitation bred betrayal. Fearing exposure, Margaret distanced herself briefly. ignoring Emery's calls while pacifying David back home. "I'm coming soon," she promised him, hating the lie. Inside, she agonized. Was protecting her facade worth hurting Emery? The damage showed when Emery confronted her. "You pulled away." "Why?" Tears flowed. Margaret admitted partial truth. "I'm scared of what this means." Reconciliation followed, but scars lingered. They spent evenings walking Chicago streets, discussing futures. Emery dreamed of independence. Margaret of authenticity. Yet societal pressures mounted. News of anti-LGBT bills in states, reminding them of fragility. Margaret's firm called, questioning her absence. Get back or risk partnership. The stakes rose, choices loomed. In a moment of vulnerability, Margaret shared her past. A college fling with a woman buried deep. "It felt right, but I ran." Emery listened, then said, "Don't run now." The words pierced, forcing Margaret to confront her ethics. Helping Emery wasn't altruism. It was self-discovery at a cost. As Lily grew stronger, so did their connection, but external forces threatened. David's ultimatum arrived. "Come home or it's over." Margaret's mind raced with trade-offs, security versus truth. The drama intensified, each decision a razor edge. The ultimatum from David echoed in Margaret's ears as she boarded a flight back to New York, leaving Emery with promises of return. "I'll sort this out," she had said, hugging her tightly, Lily cooing between them. But doubt gnawed. Was she capable of the upheaval? Back home, David waited with flowers and accusations. "Explain yourself," he demanded over dinner. Margaret skirted truths, claiming charity work, but his eyes narrowed. Inside, she screamed, "This life is a cage. How much longer can I pretend?" Her parents visited soon after, sensing cracks. "Marriage will ground you," her father insisted, his Texas drawl firm. Margaret nodded mechanically, but her thoughts drifted to Emery's texts. "Miss you already." Lily smiled today. The contrast stung. Fake normalcy versus genuine warmth. Moral conflicts deepened. Marrying David meant stability but deception. Choosing Emery meant chaos but honesty. Society's lens amplified it. Friends whispered about phases. Media debated rights. Emery's custody battle escalated. Her ex filing papers. Margaret flew back weekends, advising legally. Their meetings charged with unspoken tension. One night, after a grueling court session, Emery leaned in. "I couldn't do this without you." Their lips brushed in a tentative kiss, Margaret pulling back in panic. "What have I done?" Betrayal to David surged, guilt flooding. She confessed to Emery. "I'm engaged." Emery's face fell. Then why? The hurt cut deep, a first real wound. Repercussions followed. David discovered texts confronting Margaret in a rage. "You're cheating? With a woman." The word woman spat like venom, exposing his biases. "I thought you were better than this." The fight ended their engagement, David storming out. Margaret's world crumbled. Freedom tasted bitter. Calling her parents, she braced. "It's over with David." Silence, then explosion. "What did you do? This is unnatural." Disownment threats loomed, her mother's sobs piercing. Alone, Margaret questioned everything. Was the kiss a mistake or a revelation? Inner monologues tortured. "You've destroyed lives for what, a fleeting feeling?" But Emery's pain mirrored hers. They reconciled over phone. Emery forgiving but wary. "I get the fear. My family disowned me too." Shared trauma bonded them, but societal backlash intensified. At work, rumors spread. A partner pulled her from cases. "Image matters," he said coldly. Emery's family intervened again, offering support if she repented, and gave up the baby for adoption. "Think of the child," her mother pleaded. Emery refused, but doubt crept. "What if they're right? Am I selfish?" Margaret encouraged resistance, but her own hypocrisy glared, urging bravery while she hid. A pivotal confrontation. Emery's father ambushed them at a cafe. "You're corrupting her," he accused Margaret. Words flew, exposing Margaret's identity to strangers' stares. Humiliation burned. Was this the price of visibility? Healing began tentatively. They moved Emery to New York for better opportunities, Margaret helping with an apartment. Co-parenting Lily blurred lines, their affection growing. But betrayals lingered, Margaret's ex-friends shunned her, labeling her confused. Inner conflict peaked. Right or wrong? The drama of choices weighed heavy. High tension built during a family reunion for Margaret. She attended alone, facing judgments. "You broke David's heart," an aunt sneered. Defending herself, she came out partially. "I'm figuring out who I am." Gasps followed, her parents' faces ashen. "We raised you better," her father said, leaving early. The rejection stung. A deep wound awakening resolve. Back with Emery, comfort found in small moments. Lily's first steps, shared dreams. But external pressures mounted. Emery's ex sued for full custody, citing unstable environment. Court dates loomed, Margaret testifying as a character witness. Nerves frayed, what if they lost? Moral debates raged inside. Is love enough against the world? The climax approached with a heated argument between them. "You're still half in," Emery accused. "Commit or let me go." Margaret's heart broke. The decision loomed, a precipice of no return. The courtroom buzzed with tension as Emery's custody hearing unfolded. Margaret seated behind her, pulse racing. The ex's lawyer painted Emery as unfit, hinting at questionable influences. A veiled jab at their relationship. Margaret's testimony came, voice steady. "Emery's a devoted mother." But cross-examination dug deep. "And your relationship with her?" Hesitation cost her. The judge noted it. Outside, Emery whispered, "Thank you for trying." But doubt shadowed. Had Margaret's indecision weakened their case? Post-hearing fallout hit. Margaret's firm demoted her subtly, clients fleeing. "Controversy isn't good for business," her boss said. Inside, she raged. "Society punishes truth." Her parents cut contact fully, a letter arriving. "Until you repent, you're not our daughter." The isolation crushed, amplifying inner turmoil. Was Emery worth this devastation? The answer shifted daily, love versus loss. Emery faced parallel pains. Her job search stalled. Employers wary of her situation. "Single mom with drama," one implied. Frustration boiled. "Why fight when everything's against us?" Margaret consoled, but her own betrayals surfaced. She had confided in a friend, who leaked to David, sparking revenge. Anonymous tips to her firm about ethical lapses. Paranoia set in, trust eroded. A breaking point. Emery discovered Margaret's lingering wedding ring in a drawer. "You're not over him," she accused. Tears flowed. "I removed it months ago," Margaret defended. But the fight escalated, old wounds reopening. "You've cost me everything," Emery shouted. Margaret recoiled. Was she the villain? Reconciliation came slow through honest talks. "I'm terrified," Margaret admitted. "But I choose you." The words sealed a pact, but scars remained. Societal pressures amplified with news coverage of similar cases. Lesbian couples losing rights. Fear gripped. What if they targeted Lily? Moral quandaries deepened. Protect by hiding or fight openly? Margaret opted for the latter, joining advocacy groups, her voice emerging. But each step cost harassing calls, online trolls. Inner voice questioned. Hero or fool? Emery's awakening mirrored. She confronted her parents via video, declaring independence. "I love who I love." Rejection followed, but empowerment surged. Together they navigated therapy, unpacking traumas. "We deserve happiness," Emery said. Margaret agreed, but doubts lingered. At what price? The ultimate betrayal came from within. Margaret, overwhelmed, briefly considered retreating, calling David for normalcy. The thought shamed her, a secret she buried. But Emery sensed distance. "Don't leave me," she pleaded. Margaret recommitted, but the near miss haunted. As Lily turned one, celebrations mixed joy with tension. Friends, few remaining, attended, but absences glared. Margaret's mind swirled. We've paid dearly, but is it enough? High drama peaked with Emery's ex dropping the suit, intimidated by their unity. Victory tasted sweet but bittersweet, losses irreversible. Healing progressed, their love solidifying through trials. Yet society's shadow loomed, reminding of fragility. Margaret reflected. Choices define us, but so do consequences. The story's tension resolved partially, leading to final reckonings. With the custody battle won, Margaret and Emery settled into a tentative rhythm in their New York apartment, Lily's laughter a balm against lingering wounds. But peace was illusory. Societal undercurrents surged when a local news story spotlighted them as controversial figures in family law debates. Anonymous threats arrived, forcing security measures. Margaret's inner voice thundered. Why us? We've hurt no one. Yet the exposure awakened allies. Support groups rallied, offering solidarity. Personal reckonings intensified. Margaret visited her parents unannounced, heart-pounding. I need you to see me, she pleaded on their doorstep. Her father's face hardened. You've chosen sin. The door closed, finality crushing. Tears streamed as she drove away, questioning. Was persistence futile or essential? Emery comforted her that night. Family isn't always blood. But the pain etched deeper, a testament to sacrifices. Emery's evolution shone through advocacy work, speaking at events about single motherhood and identity. I lost much but gained myself, she declared. Margaret admired her courage but envy stirred. Emery embraced fully while she hesitated. A pivotal decision. Margaret proposed partnership, not marriage yet but commitment. Let's build our family. Emery accepted, joy mingling with fear. Betrayals echoed in subtle ways. Old friends resurfaced, apologizing half-heartedly, but trust was shattered. Margaret's career flourished in niches, but mainstream doors closed. Moral reflections consumed. Right choices hurt but wrong ones destroy souls. Society's judgments fueled debates. Online forums dissected their story, labeling them heroes or homewreckers. High drama culminated in a public confrontation at a rally. Anti-LGBT protesters heckled, one shouting, "You're perverting family." Margaret responded from the stage. Love is family. Cheers erupted but backlash followed. Vandalism at home. Fear gripped but unity prevailed. We face this together, Emery vowed. As time healed superficial wounds, deeper awakenings occurred. Margaret journaled nightly, unpacking layers. From hidden desires to open love, the journey demanded everything. Emery mirrored their bond, a beacon amid storms. Lily, oblivious, symbolized hope, innocence in a biased world. The story's arc closed with reflections on trade-offs. They've damaged relationships, lost security but gained authenticity. Damages tallied. Broken engagements, disownments, career setbacks. Gains. Self-truth, love, purpose. The narrative questioned ethics profoundly. In the end, as they watched Lily play, peace settled uneasily. But one query lingered, sparking endless debate. Was sacrificing societal approval for personal truth ultimately the right choice? Or a selfish delusion that harms more than it heals?